Hello, my wonderful friends. Thank you for joining me today. If you're watching this video, chances are you're either in your golden years yourself or you care deeply about someone who is. Either way, I'm so glad you're here because what we're about to discuss could genuinely change your life or the life of someone you love. I'm going to share something that many doctors wish they had more time to tell their patients over 60. We'll explore 5 habits that medical professionals consistently warn against, plus 7 key indicators of overall wellness that you should be monitoring. The wonderful news is that, even if you've been practicing these habits for years, it's never too late to make positive changes. Before we dive in, I want you to know something important. Aging doesn't have to mean declining. Many of the changes we associate with getting older are actually the result of habits, not time. And that means we have more control than we might think. So settle in, perhaps with a nice cup of tea, and let's talk about how you can enjoy vibrant health well into your 80s, 90s, and beyond. The 5 habits doctors want you to avoid after 60. Sedentary lifestyle. The silent health thief. If there's one habit that consistently tops doctors' concern lists, it's prolonged sitting and physical inactivity. Dr. Sarah Johnson, a geriatric specialist I interviewed for this video, calls this the silent health thief because it robs us of our mobility, independence, and vitality without us even noticing until significant damage is done. Consider my friend Margaret, who at 72 spent most of her days watching television and rarely left her apartment. Within just 2 years, she needed assistance with basic tasks like grocery shopping and climbing stairs. Her muscles had weakened, her balance had deteriorated, and her energy levels had plummeted. Compare this to her neighbor Harold, also 72, who walks for 30 minutes every morning, tends to his garden 3 times a week, and does chair yoga twice weekly. Harold can still play with his grandchildren, travel independently, and maintain his home without assistance. The difference isn't genetics or luck, it's movement. Your body is designed to move, and it deteriorates when it doesn't. What can you do? Start small. If you've been inactive, don't try to run a marathon tomorrow. Begin with a 5-minute walk around your living room or yard. Do some gentle stretches while watching TV. Stand up during commercials. Gradually increase your activity level, and I promise you'll feel the difference within weeks, not years. Poor sleep hygiene, undermining your brain's nightly maintenance. Many of us think sleep becomes less important as we age. This couldn't be further from the truth. While sleep patterns naturally change with age, the quality and quantity of sleep remain crucial for cognitive health, emotional well-being, and physical recovery. Dr. Michael Chen, a neurologist specializing in aging, explains that sleep is when your brain conducts essential maintenance, clearing out toxins, consolidating memories, and repairing neural connections. Skipping this maintenance by having poor sleep habits is like never servicing your car and expecting it to run smoothly for decades. Take my sister-in-law Elaine, who at 68 would stay up late watching news programs, often with bright screens illuminating her bedroom. She'd wake up throughout the night and then drag herself through her days, increasingly forgetful and irritable. She attributed this to just getting older. Then there's my brother James, 73, who maintains a consistent sleep schedule, keeps electronics out of his bedroom, and practices a calming bedtime routine involving light reading and herbal tea. He sleeps soundly most nights and maintains the sharp wit and good humor he's always been known for. What can you do? Establish a regular sleep schedule, even on weekends. Create a calm, cool, dark sleeping environment. Limit caffeine after noon and avoid alcohol within 3 hours of bedtime. Consider a warm bath or gentle stretching before bed to signal to your body that it's time to wind down. Social isolation, the loneliness epidemic. One of the most overlooked aspects of aging well is maintaining social connections. Numerous studies have shown that loneliness and social isolation can be as damaging to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Yet after retirement, loss of loved ones, or mobility challenges, many seniors find their social circles shrinking dramatically. Dr. Elizabeth Torres, a social gerontologist, calls this the loneliness epidemic, and it's particularly concerning for brain health and emotional well-being. I think of my Uncle Frank who, after losing his wife of 52 years, withdrew from his community activities and rarely accepted invitations from friends or family. Within a year, his cognitive abilities noticeably declined, and he was diagnosed with depression. In contrast, his friend Walter, who also lost his spouse, joined a grief support group, volunteered at his local library twice weekly, and maintained regular lunch dates with friends. Despite his heartbreak, Walter continued to thrive, mentally and emotionally. What can you do? Reach out to one person today, by phone, email, or in person. Join a club or class that interests you. Many senior centers and libraries offer free or low-cost options. Consider volunteering. Helping others is one of the most powerful antidotes to loneliness. And don't overlook technology. Video calls with loved ones or online communities centered around your interests can provide meaningful connection without leaving home. Nutritional neglect. You are what you don't eat. As we age, our nutritional needs change while our appetites often decrease. This creates a perfect storm for what geriatric nutritionist Dr. Rebecca Wong calls nutritional neglect, not giving your body the essential nutrients it needs to maintain cellular function, immune response, and organ health. My neighbor Doris, 78, lived primarily on tea, toast, and the occasional TV dinner, believing that her decreased appetite meant she needed very little food. She suffered from constant fatigue, frequent infections, and worsening osteoporosis. Meanwhile, my mother-in-law Beatrice, 82, makes nutrition a priority despite living alone. She prepares simple but nutrient-dense meals featuring colorful vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. She takes particular care to get enough protein, calcium, and vitamin D. The result? She maintains good muscle mass, rarely gets sick, and has the energy to enjoy her favorite activities. What can you do? Focus on nutrient density, not just calories. Ensure adequate protein intake throughout the day to preserve muscle mass. Consider small, frequent meals if your appetite has diminished. Stay adequately hydrated. Thirst sensation often decreases with age. And discuss with your doctor whether you might benefit from supplements targeting common deficiencies in older adults, such as vitamin B12, vitamin D, or calcium. Stress without relief. The cortisol cascade. The final habit doctors want you to avoid is allowing chronic stress to go unmanaged. While we often think of stress as primarily affecting younger working adults, seniors face unique stressors. Health concerns, financial worries, loss of loved ones, and dramatic life changes. Dr. Jonathan West, an endocrinologist, explains that chronic stress triggers what he calls the cortisol cascade, a persistent elevation of stress hormones that damages virtually every system in your body, from your heart to your brain to your immune system. Consider my colleague Richard, 75, who worried constantly about his health, his finances, and world events. He consumed hours of news daily, ruminated over potential problems, and rarely practiced any form of relaxation. His blood pressure remained stubbornly high despite medication, and he struggled with insomnia and digestive issues. Compare this to his wife Louise, 73, who makes stress management a priority through daily meditation, limiting news consumption, and regular participation in her church choir, an activity that brings her joy. Despite facing the same external circumstances as Richard, Louise maintains better physical health and a more positive outlook. What can you do? Find activities that reliably bring you a sense of calm or joy and make them non-negotiable parts of your routine. This might be meditation, prayer, time in nature, creating art, or gentle movement like Tai Chi. Limit exposure to stressful triggers you can't control, such as excessive news consumption. Consider keeping a gratitude journal to train your brain to notice positives amid challenges. 7 key indicators of wellness after 60. Now that we've discussed what to avoid, let's explore 7 positive indicators that medical professionals look for when assessing health in older adults. These are signs that your body and mind are functioning well and each one gives you specific information about different aspects of your health. Consistent energy levels. Your metabolic health barometer. The first key indicator of wellness is having relatively consistent energy throughout the day. This reflects stable blood sugar, proper nutrient absorption, good mitochondrial function, and adequate hormone production. My friend David, 77, used to experience dramatic energy crashes by mid-afternoon, leaving him too exhausted to participate in evening activities. After working with his doctor to address underlying insulin resistance and improve his eating pattern to include small, balanced meals throughout the day, he now enjoys steady energy from morning until reasonable bedtime. What this tells you: if your energy fluctuates dramatically throughout the day or has declined significantly from your younger years, this may signal nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, sleep disorders, or metabolic issues, worth discussing with your healthcare provider. Practical action. Track your energy levels for 1 week, noting when they peak and crash. Bring this information to your next doctor's appointment. Meanwhile, try eating smaller, balanced meals that include protein, healthy fat, and complex carbohydrates every 3 or 4 hours, rather than large, heavy meals. Cognitive flexibility. Your brain's adaptability signal. Cognitive health isn't just about memory. It's about your brain's ability to adapt to new situations, learn new skills, and shift between different types of thinking. This adaptability, or cognitive flexibility, is a powerful indicator of brain health. My friend Sylvia, 83, challenges her cognitive flexibility by learning new card games, taking different routes to familiar destinations, and recently learning to use a tablet computer. Despite occasional frustrations, she persists in these novel activities. Her recall may not be perfect, but her ability to problem solve and adapt to new situations. What this tells you: if you find yourself increasingly rigid in your thinking, unable to consider alternative perspectives, or avoiding unfamiliar situations entirely, this might indicate changes in your brain's frontal lobe function that deserve attention. Practical action. Deliberately seek novel experiences weekly. This could be as simple as eating with your non-dominant hand, taking a different walking route, or learning a new skill. When faced with problems, practice generating multiple potential solutions rather than fixating on the first one that comes to mind. Recovery capacity, your resilience metric. The third indicator is how quickly your body recovers from physical stressors, be it exercise, illness, or a poor night's sleep. This recovery capacity reflects immune function, cellular repair mechanisms, and overall physiological resilience. My tennis partner Arthur, 71, notices that after a challenging match, he now needs about a day to feel recovered, whereas his sedentary brother of similar age takes nearly a week to bounce back from comparable exertion. Arthur has built this recovery capacity through consistent physical activity, good nutrition, and stress management. What this tells you: if minor illnesses linger for weeks, small injuries take exceptionally long to heal, or you require days to recover from moderate activity, your body's repair systems may need support. Practical action. Support your recovery capacity through adequate protein intake, which provides the building blocks for cellular repair. Ensure sufficient sleep, as this is when much of your body's maintenance occurs. Stay well hydrated and consider discussing adaptogenic herbs with your healthcare provider, which may help modulate your stress response. Digestive harmony, your gut health indicator. The fourth wellness indicator is digestive comfort and regularity. Your digestive system not only processes nutrients but also houses much of your immune system and produces neurotransmitters that affect mood and cognition. My cousin Helen, 76, suffered from what she called grumpy gut for years, bloating, unpredictable bowel habits, and discomfort after meals. She assumed this was just part of aging until her doctor helped her identify specific food sensitivities and recommended probiotic foods. The improvement in her digestive symptoms coincided with better sleep, clearer thinking, and improved mood. What this tells you: chronic digestive symptoms like bloating, irregular bowel movements, or discomfort after eating may signal food sensitivities, inadequate digestive enzyme production, or imbalances in your gut microbiome, all of which can impact your overall health. Practical action. Keep a simple food and symptom journal for 2 weeks to identify patterns between what you eat and how you feel. Ensure adequate fiber intake from varied sources. Consider fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, or sauerkraut to support a healthy gut microbiome. Stay well hydrated to support proper digestion and elimination. Balanced emotional response. Your psychological weather report. The fifth indicator is emotional resilience. Your ability to experience appropriate emotional responses without becoming overwhelmed or emotionally numb. This reflects neurochemical balance, stress hormone regulation, and psychological coping skills. My friend Barbara, 79, experienced the devastating loss of her son 2 years ago. While she grieved deeply, she was able to gradually re-engage with life, finding moments of joy amid her sadness and maintaining her connections with others. This emotional resilience didn't mean absence of pain, but rather the capacity to experience and move through difficult emotions without becoming permanently defined by them. What this tells you: if you find yourself emotionally volatile, consistently numb, or stuck in persistent low mood, regardless of circumstances, this may indicate neurochemical imbalances, unprocessed grief or trauma, or the need for additional psychological support. Practical action. Practice identifying and naming your emotions specifically, rather than using general terms like bad or upset. Incorporate mindfulness practices that help you observe emotions without immediately reacting to them. Don't hesitate to seek professional support if emotional challenges persist. Therapy can be tremendously beneficial at any age. Restorative sleep. Your brain's cleaning cycle. The sixth indicator is whether your sleep leaves you feeling refreshed and restored. Quality sleep is characterized not just by duration but by cycling properly through different sleep stages, particularly the deep sleep that allows for physical restoration and the REM sleep that supports cognitive processing. My colleague Edward, 81, prioritized improving his sleep quality after learning about its connection to cognitive health. He worked with his doctor to address sleep apnea, established consistent sleep and wake times, and created a bedroom environment conducive to quality rest. The improvements in his memory, mood, and energy were remarkable within just a few months. What this tells you: if you consistently wake unrefreshed despite adequate time in bed, or if bed partners report that your breathing is irregular during sleep, you may have a sleep disorder interfering with these crucial restorative processes. Practical action. Beyond the sleep hygiene practices mentioned earlier, consider tracking your sleep with a journal or appropriate technology. If you consistently feel unrefreshed or have symptoms like snoring or gasping during sleep, discuss sleep testing with your healthcare provider. Untreated sleep disorders significantly increase risk for cognitive decline and cardiovascular problems. Cardiovascular response, your heart health barometer. The final wellness indicator is how your cardiovascular system responds to and recovers from exertion. This reflects heart strength, blood vessel elasticity, and overall circulatory health. My uncle Joseph, 84, monitors this through what he calls his stairs test. Living in a 2-stone home, he pays attention to how winded he feels after climbing the stairs and how quickly his breathing and heart rate return to normal. When he noticed this recovery taking longer, he mentioned it to his doctor, who identified early signs of a heart valve issue that could be addressed before it became serious. What this tells you: if moderate activities like climbing a flight of stairs or walking a few blocks leave you excessively breathless, or if your heart rate takes more than a couple of minutes to return to baseline after such activities, your cardiovascular system may benefit from attention. Practical action. Perform a simple self-assessment. After climbing a flight of stairs or walking briskly for 2 minutes, check how long it takes for your breathing to return to normal and for any sensation of heart pounding to subside. If this takes more than 2 minutes, or if you experience chest discomfort, dizziness, or extreme shortness of breath during such activities, consult your healthcare provider promptly. Why these indicators matter. The interconnected web of health. What makes these 7 indicators particularly valuable is that they don't exist in isolation. They form an interconnected web. Improvements in one area often cascade into benefits in others. For instance, when my friend Thomas improved his sleep quality, he found he had more energy for physical activity. This increased movement led to better cardiovascular health. Better circulation meant more nutrients and oxygen reaching his brain, improving cognitive function. Enhanced cognitive function made it easier to make good nutritional choices and manage stress effectively. Each positive change supported others in an upward spiral of well-being. All of a sudden, it was the positive change Olive wanted to see. The reverse is also true. Neglecting one aspect of health can create a downward spiral affecting multiple systems. This is why taking a holistic approach to your health after 60 is so important. Your health transformation begins today. As we wrap up our discussion, I want to emphasize something crucial. It's never too late to make positive changes. Your body has a remarkable capacity for regeneration and improvement at any age. Remember my friend Margaret who had become sedentary? 6 months after beginning a gradual movement program, she was able to walk a mile without stopping and reported feeling 10 years younger. My neighbor Doris, who had been nutritionally neglecting herself, experienced dramatic improvements in energy and immunity within weeks of improving her diet. Whatever your current health status, the habits you practice today are shaping your health tomorrow, next year, and a decade from now. Small, consistent actions accumulate into significant results, both positive and negative. I invite you to choose just one area we've discussed today to focus on this coming week. Perhaps you'll commit to a daily 5-minute walk, or to connecting with one person each day, or to adding an extra serving of colorful vegetables to your meals. Start small, be consistent, and watch how one positive change creates momentum for others. Conclusion and call to action. My dear friends, we've covered a lot today. 5 habits to avoid and 7 indicators of wellness to monitor. I hope you're feeling not overwhelmed but empowered by this information. Knowledge is only valuable when put into action, so I encourage you to take one small step today toward better health. If you found this information valuable, please support our community by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. We release new health and wellness content for mature adults every week. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these areas do you plan to focus on first? Or perhaps you have your own success story about improving your health after 60 that might inspire others. Your experience matters and could be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Remember, aging is inevitable, but how we age is largely up to us. Here's to your health, your independence, and your joy in these golden years. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Until next time, take good care of yourself, because you deserve nothing less.